Hi fans, I don't know if how many of you are tuned in right now, but welcome to the first ever live Mid-Table Crisis with me, Simon Cross.
And with me, Tom Patrick.
You're a bit late there, Tom. What's up with you?
I'm on drugs. I'm expecting our biggest fan, Ibrahim Zulfikar, to be avidly listening with his mouse in one hand and with his rat in the other.
Aww.
So enjoy this, please. You know you're gonna love it.
Well, never has the term "we aim to please" been so apt, really, has it?
Yeah, we aim to please. We aim to please the young, the old, and the horrendously disgusting.
I was going to say.
But in terms of the football world, Simon, what have you been interested in this week? You horrendous paedophile.
You're just doing. Oh dear. Right. Well, Tom. This week I've mainly been interested in the fortunes of our English teams in the Champions League. And we also, me and you, we've lost a figure close to us today. Not a death or anything, but the Luton Town manager has left today. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And of course, we've had the retirement of another great icon of the game. Rivaldo has finally called it a day, aged 41. So
yep, he was playing on the same team as his son, wasn't he? But more of that later. Yeah, I mean, where do you start? Where would you like to begin?
Well, we'll go for the massive headline, which is Man United somehow overturning the odds and making it through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally didn't think it was going to happen last night. I thought Olympiacos would get a goal. They were so close on several occasions. David De Gea played a stormer.
Yeah, I may be wearing my Olympiacos shirt tonight in memory of that team. But I think everyone was surprised because 2-0 down. And the thing is, the first leg, I don't know if our listeners saw it, but it wasn't like Olympiacos got lucky. Man United were just very, very poor. They didn't deserve to score. And Olympiacos deserved a 2-0 win.
You have to credit one Joel Campbell on loan from Arsenal for his incredible strike for the second goal in the first leg. That was something else. Truly was.
Lovely curler from distance.
It's good to know Costa Rica have got talent for the future in that regard, but more on that later.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, I mean, no one really gave Man United nowhere near as much a chance to say Fergie had been in charge because, Ferguson was, very adept at turning things around. He really knew how to steady a ship and he really knew how to win the games that needed to be won. Whereas
Indeed.
Moyes, under Moyes, they look a lot more fragile. So I thought that they would crumble under the pressure of having to score at least 2 goals at home to try and get it through. So,
they managed
an impressive performance.
Well, rather, Robin Van Persie managed it with a sublime performance.
Yeah, very
and
well
they really battled for it, none more so than Antonio Valencia, who spent 75 minutes of the game being able to see out of just one eye after he took a right shiner to the face.
Yeah, I think that was Joel Campbell as well. I think he's even more popular among Arsenal fans now because he caught him right in the eye, and it was a very nasty one. It just got bigger and bigger. It
swelled shut,
didn't it? Eventually it was pretty much closed up.
Yeah, I was going to say it was
nasty.
Completely swelled shut, swollen shut. I mean, a boxer would have possibly had the fight stopped if it was an injury that bad. But
yeah,
but he battled on.
One James Drakeford remarked that they should have had a cut and bucket man in the corner for him. He was looking a bit bruised and bedraggled, but he had a good game.
He did. A fair few of them had a good game. As I said, David De Gea played a great game. Ryan Giggs seemed to offer something different, which has been lacking in their midfield recently. And
he played the whole 90 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Which for a man of his age, quite impressive still.
Yeah.
And we can't take that away from him, of course. It's he's as I say, he's a truly unique individual in terms of fitness, though.
You can't get many people that have played as many games as him and still be able to do it
on the big stage.
Yes, or even at all.
But I think they've done well. I mean, we shouldn't overlook the other English team in the competition. That's still there, Chelsea. They were brutally proficient in their 2-0 win over Galatasaray on Tuesday.
Yeah, they had a job to do, and they just went out there and did it. They were too strong for them. I remember the commentator saying it was fairly casual, and it was. Chelsea just exerted. They didn't really get out of second gear. They just overpowered them.
Yeah. Mind you, Galatasaray didn't really give them much to go up against in some regards. In terms of an attacking force, they weren't up to much.
Yeah, defensively as well, they were very poor on the second goal, certainly. Cahill's goal, I thought there was a lot, that defending left a lot to be desired.
No one would know more about centre-back defending than your fine self.
I'm not sure about that. I always preferred to be just in front of the defence, protecting them. I did have a short stint playing centre back for my college, but I don't think we actually won a game. But that's another story.
Okay, so yes, we've already mentioned Manchester United and Chelsea now represent the British interests in the competition. So we've got the quarter-final draw coming up. What teams do you think our English boys are looking to get? Who do you think they're hoping for? Because there's not really a rotten apple in the bushel. They're all strong teams left.
You could have gone for Bunch, but you went for Bushel, which I think says a lot about the kind of person you are.
I love a good bushel, mate.
Yeah, you do. And that's why you're not allowed in certain branches of Sainsbury's. I mean, in terms of... when you get to this stage, there's not going to be any weak teams left, really. Even if there are some maybe slightly more favourable teams, there's no one that you're going to really want to have. I mean, obviously, no one really wants to play Barcelona. No one really wants to play Real Madrid. PSG are looking very tough. Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid. If you can...
It's a big ask. Possibly.
Yeah. To be honest, I think if I was a non-English team, I'd want to play Man United. If I was Chelsea, I'd want to play Man United. Because I'd say they're one of the...
You're saying they're the weakest team left in the draw, then?
I would say so, to be honest. I mean... obviously, Barcelona and Real Madrid are better. I don't think anyone can argue about that.
No.
And Chelsea, I'd probably say as well on current form. I'd say I'd pick Chelsea to win that game. I'd also say that Atletico Madrid at the moment are just too strong for them. The attacking power and flair that they've got.
Yeah, although their defence isn't a world-class defence, it's a very good defence, it's not world-class, and against a informed Van Persie and an informed Rooney, it might struggle.
Yeah, I think that'd be a game, there'd be some goals in it, certainly, because United's defence isn't up to much these days as well, so I think it'd be who scores more than anything.
Yeah, free-flowing NBA-style game.
Yeah, and Paris Saint-Germain at the moment, they're very, very strong. Ibrahimovic is on a great run of form. He's getting about a goal a game, so you can't really, you can't rule them out for the final. I really think whoever goes up against them, I think they'll either get knocked out by Barcelona or Real Madrid, or they'll make it all the way to the final.
You really think that? You're discounting Bayern Munich from that, the greatest team on the planet at the moment.
Bayern Munich are very good. I think Real Madrid would probably beat them.
You really think they do? I disagree. I think Bayern Munich would beat Real Madrid if you look at it at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say possibly Bayern Munich in the well, I'd say probably Bayern Munich in the final four.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to try and predict the semi-finalists now? Is this what this is?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, so you've gone for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, and then I'll go for Chelsea.
Okay.
Real, and then one of Atletico or Barca push me. I'll say Atletico. Yourself?
Okay, right. Well, it's a bit of a crapshoot without the draw, which of course is tomorrow. So I know fans all across the world will be keeping their eyes peeled for that one. But if you've done that, you've predicted a 4, so I'm going to be bold enough and go with it myself. My final 4, I'm going to go with Bayern Munich. Yep, I'm going to go with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I'm then going to go with. I'm going to go with you and say Chelsea. I think Mourinho's got he's a wily one when it comes to knockout football.
Yeah, very much so.
So I've gone for those 3. Then I'm going to say, possibly, although it couldn't be certain, I'm definitely going to say I think PSG will make it up. So I'm going for Bayern, Real, Chelsea, PSG.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I did quite heavily hype PSG there, and then not go for them. By all means, I wouldn't be very surprised to see them in the Final 4 as well.
They're like your first reserve, are they?
Yeah. I can't see Man City doing that. Manchester United doing that well. And Borussia Dortmund are a good team, but I'm just not quite at the same class,
Yeah, and Atletico
is a shame.
Are a great attacking force, but I think we both agree defensively they're just not as good as the others.
No, I think they can blow teams away. They're the kind of team that if they start well against the top teams, they could, I think they'll probably win. But if the teams can weather the storm, then just soak up a bit of the pressure and then get back at them, they'll really struggle because, as you say, their defence is nowhere near as good as their forward line.
That's interesting. Okay, I think we've both agreed on that then. So we've both made our locks for the Champions League draw. Obviously, once the fixtures are drawn tomorrow, we'll probably reassess that again, and we'll talk about that more in next week's mid-table crisis. But we go from the lofty heights of the upper echelons of European football to the lowly non-league heights of it's the Skrill Premier, isn't it, at the moment? I keep losing track of who's sponsoring it, but the conference, as older fans will know it. And today, the Nuneaton Town lost one of the conference's brightest stars in Kevin Wilkin, who has moved on to pastures new. He's gone to Wrexham, I believe. And I think it's a significant loss for the borough, because I think he's an integral part of our relative success.
Yeah, 3 promotions in about 6 years. I think he's been there nearly 6 years, which says a lot. Obviously, we did get demoted 2 seasons in that, so...
but then we climbed up back to back, so what can you say really with that?
Yeah, very, very important to Nuneaton, and I just hope that the fans remember all the good work he's done. I mean, I'm sure some fans are very annoyed and got a right to be annoyed, but once that dies down a little bit, I hope he's well remembered. Because obviously we wouldn't be where we are at the moment without him, which is 4th in the table.
Exactly. Well, you can't vilify him for going now, I don't think, because he's had other clubs sniffing around him for quite some time, and he stuck it through for out of loyalty, and he's finally found an offer which he seems is right for him, and he's left. It's annoying that it's partway through a season, but that's true of any managerial change, really. But apart from that, I wish him the best. I really do. I think he's an incredible talent.
But, yeah, really good.
The one problem I had with Wilkin is he didn't seem to make subs until very late. That's my only issue I've ever had with Kevin Wilkin.
He's had a plan and he stuck at it. I mean, the game you and me saw was not really indicative of the rest of their season because they got hammered 5-0 by
top of the table, though.
Yeah, no, not just top of the table, but a team that probably shouldn't even be there. If it weren't for their financial difficulties, they'd be a solid League 2 team. Their wage budget's well in excess of anyone else's in the league.
We are talking, of course, of Luton Town, who suffered a biblically out of proportion 30-point deduction before the start of the season, which caused them to be relegated to the conference, and they've never managed to climb out of it since.
Yeah, and they've still got a sort of lower mid-lower League 2 budget and lots of those kinds of players. A lot of those players could quite easily find League 2 clubs, and the class really showed against Nuneaton, and it has for most of the season because they're top by a distance and they're getting promoted this season, I'm fairly sure. So
Okay, you've pinned your colours to the mast on that one. I'm with you on this one. I think, that it's theirs to throw away, really.
And they've got a lot of throwing to do. So, I think there wasn't much he could have done about that. But I do know that he should probably be a little bit more proactive in that respect.
Okay.
In fact, I've just had a check. They're 11 points clear, Luton. Alfreton are in third, and they played 2 games more and got 64 points, which just kind of goes to show
the kind of situation the conference is in. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty much nailed on, I'd say, unless they have a massive collapse.
Yeah, I was just, I know we had a prefix running order, and I would take this opportunity to once again wish Kevin Wilkin the best. But as I was looking into the conference stuff myself, I came across another story that I kind of want to mention. I'm making a live on-the-fly change to the running order.
You maniac!
Well, you know what, whatever, I can do it. I'm that kind of guy. And I just came across this delightful article about how the government have rejected a petition calling for Leicester City to be docked 15 points in the Championship. A entrepreneurial character by the name of Jonathan Naidu launched the petition on the Downing Street website, saying both Leicester City and Burnley should be penalised for having an unfair advantage. His petition didn't specify what that advantage was, but Whitehall have dismissed this, who have pointing out that this is nothing to do with them and not in their jurisdiction. And it just goes to show that online petitions really are starting to get a little bit out of hand in terms of football. Yeah,
well, look, getting out of hand in general, not just in terms of football. I think you might be referring to the Tom Cleverley one as well. But I mean, to a certain extent, to a large extent, people power is good. People should be allowed to have their voices heard. But
I was going to say that's the dark step that you were taking there towards dictatorship.
A lot of things gather steam that really shouldn't, and I understand what you mean when it comes to that case. I mean, that's just a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of jealousy involved in that.
There has been one footballing case, I think we all know it, and that was the petition to get the new inquiry into the Hillsborough disaster. I mean, I personally signed that. That was a good use of the online petition service, but stuff like this just demeans the whole process. I mean, I've flicked through the government website in the past, and there's campaigns to have the police sirens changed to the Benny Hill theme tune, and all kinds of nonsense where you just think, okay, you've got the right to have an opinion, but do you seriously think 100,000 people are going to share the same one? Yeah,
I think a lot of people just sign them without really knowing what they're doing, So that's right. I think that was the case in the whole Leicester situation.
I don't believe it reached 100,000 signatures. I'm not entirely sure on that myself. I'm just going to double check. Yeah. But, I mean, Whitehall have thrown it out quite rightly because it's, let's face it, not a government issue.
Not at all.
That's that taken care of, and hopefully, we won't have to concern ourselves with such nonsense anymore.
Nonsense, indeed.
And we're talking nonsense, and I wondered when you're going to get a Brass Eye reference in.
Always.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so what else were we going to talk about?
I kind of pushed the other issue we were going to discuss, which is Rivaldo's retirement. I pushed that on the back burner. Yeah. So let's talk about that now. Let's give that
sad day for me. Sad day for me personally. I was always a fan of him. Not just in his earlier career. I say his earlier career, he was still about 30, but, AC Milan and Barcelona, when he was at the peak of his powers, and the 2002 World Cup, I'm sure we all remember, he was ranged from the sublime to the ridiculous with some stunning goals.
Absolutely ridiculous. I think we all remember that dive he took when the ball hit his ankle and he started clutching his face.
Yeah, got the player sent off. We shouldn't...
That was against Turkey, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was against the Turks. It might have been... it was either one of the last group games or it might have been quarterfinals. Yeah, I think it was at least quarters because Turkey did really well. Hassan Sass had a great tournament. I remember...
There's a blast from the past, if ever I heard one. Hassan Sass.
Hassan Sass, yes indeed. Shit hair, we must say.
But it is fun to say.
Yeah. And yeah, but I really liked him, especially in his later years when he was at AEK Athens, and he went to Uzbekistan, and he absolutely creamed it there. Top goal scorer, I think he was. You know, he was about 38, and he was still killing it. And then he went to Angola, and he still had a great time there as well. And back in
you say you went to Angola. I think he only ever actually played once for that Angolan team.
No, he played more than that. I'm sure he did, mate. I think he got a few games in Cabot Sport Scorp or something, but.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at a different club. I keep forgetting he's played for so many. I'm looking at a Moggy Mirim, which is the club that loaned him to the Angolan team.
He did go back to them, I think, because I think he was player chairman in his time there.
Ah, right.
He went to Cabascorp, and he got 11 in 21 in 2012. So he got better than a goal every 2 games from midfield at the age of 39.
38, 39?
No, 39, 40.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you look at his record, one club he had a great record for in his later career is Bunyodkor? I'm going to say
I think they're Azerbaijani. No, they're the Uzbeks.
They're the Uzbeks, yeah, but for them he got 33 goals in 53 games, which is incredible.
Better than 1 in 2. As an attacking midfielder or out wide, you know, he wasn't a centre forward, so that is amazing. And he didn't play too much for Moggy Mirim in the end, but he was
played once for Moggy Mirim.
I think he had a couple of games for him, but they weren't all league games. That was the thing. But he did play alongside his own son, who's also a creative midfielder, which is very nice to see because that very, very rarely happens.
You think of Paolo Maldini played alongside his son in his testimonial, I believe.
Yeah, but I mean, this was a professional league game.
Yeah, that's true. The only other example I can think of that then is Teddy and Charlie Sheringham. I think they've played together in the league once or twice.
I don't think Charlie was ever at the same club as him.
They have been. I'm fairly certain they have played at the same club, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to double check that, but I think I'm right on that one. You know.
I know Adi Gudjonsson once came on in an international for his dad. In an official international game, Ida came on for Arna, but they never played together. They played in the same game, but not at the same time.
Oh, missed out there. But I'm fairly sure it's when Teddy Sheringham was finishing his career at Colchester that Charlie Sheringham was there for a brief time and they played alongside each other.
I wouldn't be overly surprised. It does happen. Tom Ince has played for his dad quite a lot. And Andrea Zola was at West Ham when his dad Gianfranco was there, so it's possible, certainly. But
and who knows? If Sunderland show their interest in Diego Poyet, Gus might have his son at his club.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
And of course, we forgot the most famous example of all in English football: Harry and Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah, they never played together, but they.
One managed the other
for a long time. Yeah, at Bournemouth, I think.
And again, a Premier League club, I think. I think their paths did cross once more, not just Bournemouth.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I will bow to your superior knowledge.
As I say, I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain on that one.
Okay.
But I'm afraid, dear listeners, that this live podcast has to come to a slightly premature end because for the first time in a long time, instead of talking about football, I'll actually be playing it. I'm coming out of retirement for a game tonight.
And of course, now you've said this, we're going to ask you for a match report on the next mid-table crisis now, right?
Sounds good to me. And wish me good luck. And I hope you've enjoyed this, listeners. And Simon shall play you out.
Okay, as I said, this has been a little shorter than usual, but this has been Mid-Table Crisis. I have been and will continue to be Simon Cross. And that was Tom Patrick.
It certainly was. Have a lovely night.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.